Hey, Wilderness Will here. Welcome back. We are going to warm, sunny Florida, and we're going to Jupiter Inlet to learn about God's cleanup crew.
All right, I'm Wilderness Will here. We're at Jupiter Inlet Park, DuBois Park. It's one of our favorite places to take our kids. It's great because on one side you have this nice lagoon, and then on the other side, Mama just got hit with a red mangrove seed pod. Oh, careful! You have the ocean on the other side, playing the waves. All right, we caught some really cool creatures here. Really neat creations here of God. This is the little hermit crab. He'll come out in a second. We'll give him a second. He's going to come out and want to crawl around a little bit. We'll check him out in a minute. But they carry their house with them. If they get too large, they're able to move around and find another shell that's quite large enough for them to move into. So they'll move around different snail shells. And there he goes. They're great scavengers. They're part of God's cleanup crew where they clean up the dead animals. Now we did find a couple of these. I'll put him back here in the water. These are mole crabs. Whoops. I always call them sand fleas growing up because they burrow into the sand at the ocean's edge, and they are designed really well to live in really harsh conditions. When the waves are crashing against the shore, you can see the way they're designed will help them to burrow directly into the sand and not be hurt or affected by the large waves. And this would be their body here. This is their little gill apparatus that was help them to breathe as they're and filter also the plankton that is there. That one looks like a male. This is a full-grown female with eggs in there. That's what the orange little caviar looking things there. Those are eggs from the sand flea or mole crab. And these are also great for bait. You can see the little gills flying out there. And usually you can tell they're in the sand after a wave passes by. You'll see these little V-shaped structures coming out in the wave as it's passing down. But God has designed these to live in the harsh conditions right where the waves crash against the shore. Come over here. Wesley just brought back some interesting creatures. He was out there looking around the mangrove roots. The estuary here, this is a great place. It's a nursery. This is a great place to find small creatures that are growing up and protected. Then they get larger and they move out to the deeper water. But underneath the mangrove roots, you'll see sargassum weed, and you'll see little bits of detritus. Detritus is decaying animal and plant matter. Oh, look at that crab.
What's this?
Did you see that? Now that little guy is covered with, look at that sponge. Look at that orange sponge. Isn't that awesome? He is covered with that, and that's his disguise. So God allowed them to design, have a design like that they'll keep plants and sponges on their backs. So like the hermit crab has a hard shell to protect them. These spider crabs, collector crabs they're also called, will collect the sponge and the seaweed to protect them and camouflage them from predators. Little pink shrimp. They grow up in the estuaries and then they move on out migrate out into the ocean. And under a full moon in the winter months, you can catch these, sometimes by the thousands. And they make great bait as well. But shrimps, they're all part of the crustacean family. And again, part of God's cleanup crew. God made these to help clean up the ocean, keep it clean when something dies. Scavengers like shrimps and crabs will come along and help pick it clean and clean it up. Sea squirt looks like a piece of jelly. Whoop! Watch out! Oh, they're so cool. Now a tunic or a sea squirt there, those are so cool. They'll trap their water. They're kind of similar to sponges, except they do not have the sponge structure. They're more jelly-like creature. And they live on roots and they live on rocks in estuaries like this.
What is their function?
They help filter the water. They clean the water. Again, part of God's cleanup crew. Everything has a job in God's creation, and the sea squirt is no different. Looks like Ben has some friends over here. We got some white ibis. Saw those earlier. And a raccoon. Watch out for the raccoon. That might have been the one we saw crossing the river yesterday. He was swimming across.
I'm on.
All right, well, thanks for stopping by.
Hey, hope you guys enjoyed that adventure. That's only part 1 of 3, so come on back and check out our next adventure at Jupiter Inlet. And don't forget, every day's an adventure in God's creation.